Hello students, let's have the numericals of the chapter 13 AC circuits. Let's see the important formulas of the chapter 13 AC circuits that will be used to solve the numericals. First of all, as we know that the alternating EMF E is given as E0 sin omega t, where E0 is the peak value of the alternating EMF there, or we can say it is the maximum value of the alternating EMF in either a direction. Then alternating current I is given as I0 sin omega t plus alpha, where alpha represents the phase difference between the current I and the EMF, and I0 is said to be a peak value of the current. Next we have average value of the current, which is to be given as IF is equal to 0.637 I0. We can say it is the relationship between the average current and the peak value of the current, as average current is to be given as IAV and peak value of the current is given as I0. So here we can say that the average value of the current IAV is equal to 0.637 I0. Similarly, we can give average value of EMF EAV, which is equal to 0.637 E0, where E0 is the peak value of the EMF there. Next we have RMS value of the induced EMF, which is to be denoted as E RMS, which is to be given as E0 upon square root 2. And in the same way, the RMS value of the induced current is also to be given as IRMS, which is equal to I0 upon square root 2. Next, the heat produced by the sinusoidally varying AC over a complete cycle is given as H is equal to R into RMS value of the current, and its square we have to take, and it is to be multiplied with 2 pi by omega. So here we can give the formula as H is equal to R into I RMS square into 2 pi by omega. This is the value of the heat produced by a sinusoidally varying AC over a complete cycle. The next formula we can give when we are using a purely inductive circuit. So for a pure inductor circuit, the value of the current is to be given as I0 sin omega t minus pi by 2. And over here we are getting the value of the inductive reactance, which is to be denoted as XL, and the value of the XL is to be given by using the formula ERMS upon IRMS. That is, we have to take the RMS value of the EMF and current, and hence we have to take its ratio. And also the inductive reactance we are getting as omega L, which is equal to 2 pi FL, where F is the frequency of the AC supply. For a purely capacitive circuit, we are having the current I as I0 sin omega t plus pi by 2, and here we are getting the capacitive reactance, which is to be denoted as XC, and again we have to take the ratio of ERMS to the IRMS. So ERMS upon IRMS gives the value of the capacitive reactance, and value of XC is also is equal to 1 upon omega C, which is also is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FC. Next, for the impedance, over here in the LCR circuit, we are having the value of Z is equal to ERMS upon IRMS, which is further is equal to square root of R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. And if we are having a circuit consisting of a conductor and a resistance only, then it is said to be the LR circuit, And for this LR circuit, the value of the impedance Z is given as square root of R square plus XL the square there. Similarly, when we are having the circuit consisting of capacitor and resistor only, which is said to be the CR circuit. So, in the CR circuit, the value of the impedance Z is given as square root of R square plus XC square. Then, we can determine the phase difference between XL, XC and R there, which is to be given as phi is equal to tan inverse XL minus XC upon R. As well as the resonance frequency FR is to be given by the equation 1 upon 2 pi square root LC. So, these are the formulas that we will use to solve the numericals of this chapter, that is chapter 13 AC circuits. Now, let's proceed to solve the numericals of this chapter. The first unsolved numerical from the textbook, question number 12 is, if the effective current in a 50 cycle AC circuit is 5 ampere, what is the peak value of current? What is the current 1 by 600 second after it was 0? So, here in this question, the frequency of the AC circuit is given as 50 cycle or 50 hertz, and the value of the effective current, or we can say the RMS current, is given as 5 ampere, and we have to calculate peak value of the current there. And for the time interval 1 upon 600 second, we have to determine the value of the instantaneous current. Let's see the solution. First of all, we have to write down the data. The frequency F is given as 50 hertz. Value of RMS current is given as 5 ampere. So, we have to write IRMS as 5 ampere, and the time is given as 1 upon 600 second. Then we have to find out first of all the peak value of the current, which is to be given as or denoted by I0, as well as we have to determine the instantaneous current, that is the value of I. Formula we will use here. First of all, I0 is equal to square root 2 IRMS, and second formula we are going to use as I is equal to I0 sin omega t. By using the first formula, I0 is equal to square root IRMS. Here we have to substitute the value, as IRMS is given as 5 ampere. So, we have to write as square root 2 into 5, as value of the square root 2 is 1.414. So, we have to write down the value of the square root 2 there, and hence I0 is equal to 1.414 into 5, and the multiplication will be given as 7.07 ampere. So, the peak value of the current I0 we are getting as 7.07 ampere. Then next we have to determine the instantaneous current I. So, by using the second formula, I is equal to I0 sin omega t. Over here we have to substitute the values, as I0 we have calculated and we are getting the value as 7.07 ampere. So, substitute the value of I0 in this formula, 7.07 into sin omega t. So, here the value omega t we are supposed to write as 2 pi f into t. So, 2 pi into f is given as 50. So, we have to substitute the value as 50 here, and into time, the value of the time is given 1 upon 600. So, here we had substituted the value of I0 and omega t in this formula, I0 sin omega t, and it becomes I is equal to 7.07 sin 2 pi into 50 into 1 upon 600. So, the bracket term 2 pi f into t, when we will solve it, we are getting it as pi upon 6, and hence the next step would become 7.07 into sine pi by 6. The value of sine pi by 6 is nothing but half, or we can write it as 0.5. That is multiplied with 7.07, and the multiplication of 7.07 and 0.5 will gives as 3.535. So the value of the instantaneous current I we are getting as 3.535 ampere. And finally we can write our answer. First of all, the peak value of the current I0 we are getting as 7.07 ampere, and second instantaneous value of the current, that is I, we are getting as 3.535 ampere. The next unsolved numerical from the textbook, question number 14 is: a 15.0 microfarad capacitor is connected to a 220 volt 50 hertz source. Find the capacitive reactance and the current, that is the RMS and peak in the circuit. If the frequency is doubled, what will happen to the capacitive reactance and the current? So here in this question, the value of the capacitor is given as 15 microfarad, and across the AC supply, which is having the RMS value of the EMF given as 220 volt and frequency given as 50 hertz. So across this AC supply, capacitor is connected, and hence we have to determine the value of the capacitive reactance, as well as we have to determine RMS value of the current and peak value of the current. Then one condition is given for which we have to determine the capacitive reactance and the current. If the frequency is double, so what will be the value of the capacitive reactance and the current we have to determine. Let's see the solution. First of all, we have to write down the data. The value of the capacitor is given as 15 microfarad. So we have to write it down as C is equal to 15.0 microfarad, and we have to convert it into farad by multiplying 10 raised to minus 6. So value of C would become 15 into 10 raised to minus 6 farad. Next is given value of RMS value of EMF, that is E RMS is 220 volt, and the frequency we are denoting as F1, which is given as 50 hertz. Next frequency F2 is given as per the condition, that is 2F1. The condition is given when the frequency is doubled. That means when F1 is getting double, so it will be like F2. So value of F2 is nothing but 2F1, as F1 is given 50 hertz. So 2F1 would become 100 hertz there. So value of F1 is 50 hertz and value of F2 is 100 hertz. Then over here we have to determine the capacitive reactance for the first frequency, that is given F1 as 50 hertz. So we are denoting it as XC1, and for the same frequency we have to calculate RMS current, that is IRMS1, and also the peak current, that is I01. Then when the frequency is getting double, so for the frequency F2 we have to determine the capacitive reactance, so it is to be denoted as XC2, and also the peak current we have to determine when the frequency is getting double, that is I02. Now let's see the formula that we will use over here to solve this numerical. First of all, we have to use the formula XC is equal to 1 upon 2 pi FC. Second formula we are taking as IRMS is equal to ERMS upon XC, as XC is nothing but the ratio of RMS values of EMF to the current there. So here we can write IRMS as ERMS upon XC. And third formula we will use here as I0 is equal to root 2 IRMS. Let's see the solution. Now from the formula 1, that is Xc is equals to 1 upon 2 pi Fc, we have to substitute the values in this formula. So 2 is there, the value of pi we have to use as 3.142. Frequency is given as we are determining the capacitive reactance for the first frequency. So the value of the frequency we are using as 50 hertz, and the value of the capacitance is given as 15 into 10 raised to minus 6. So in the formula Xc is equals to 1 upon 2 pi Fc, we have to substitute the values, and it becomes Xc is equals to 1 upon 2 into 3.142 into 50 into 15 into 10 raised to minus 6. When we are solving the denominator, so we are getting as 3.142, we are keeping as it is, the multiplication of 50, 15 and 2 we are getting as 15 into 10 raised to minus 4. So here finally we are writing it as 10 raised to 4 upon 3.142 into 15 there. Now we are going to solve it by using the log calculation. So first of all we have to write down the anti-log out of the bracket, then log of 10 raised to minus 4 minus log 3.142 minus log 15. As 3.142 and 15 is there in the denominator with multiplication, that's why minus sign will be there. Then write down the value of the log 10 raised to 4, which will be is equal to 4. Log 3.142 we are getting as 0.4972, and log 15 we are having the value as 1.1761. When we are calculating this value, so we are getting it as 2.3267. Out of the bracket we are writing anti-log also. Now we have to calculate, we have to see actually what is the value of anti-log, 2.3267, and the value of the anti-log 2.3267 we are getting as 2.121 into 10 raised to 2, which we are writing approximately as 212 ohm. So the value of the capacitive reactance Xc1 we are getting as 212 ohm there. Then next, by using the second formula, that is IRMS is equal to ERMS upon Xc. Here we have to substitute the values, as ERMS is given 220 and Xc we had calculated and getting as 212. So we are supposed to write down as 220 upon 212, and the ratio will be given as 1.04 ampere. So the RMS value of the current for the frequency 50 hertz we are getting as 1.04 ampere. Now the next, by using the third formula, that is I0 is equal to square root 2 IRMS. Here we have to substitute the value of the IRMS. So it would become I0 is equal to root 2 into 1.04, as root 2 is nothing but 1.414. Hence it is to be multiplied with 1.04, and the multiplication gives the result as 1.470 ampere. So the peak value of the current for the frequency 50 hertz we are getting as 1.470 ampere there. Then next, for the given condition when the frequency is getting double. So over here we know that the relationship between the capacitive reactance with the frequency, as Xc is equals to 1 upon 2 pi Fc. So here we can say that as 2 pi and C are the constant values and frequency is going to be changed. Here in this case the frequency is getting double. So we can say that Xc is inversely proportional to frequency there. So we can say that we can take the ratio of capacitive reactance 1 with the capacitive reactance 2. So Xc1 will become 1 upon F, and XC2 is to be taken as 1 upon 2f, as the value of the XC2 we are supposed to take for the frequency F2, and the frequency F2 we are having as double of the given frequency. So as Xc is inversely proportional to the frequency, so we can write Xc1 upon Xc2 as 2f upon f. The value for the frequency for Xc1 as 1 upon f, and for Xc2 it is 1 upon 2f, as they are inversely proportional to each other. So Xc1 upon Xc2 we can write as 2f upon f, and ff is getting cancelled there. So we can say that the value of Xc2 is nothing but half of Xc1. If the frequency is double, then the capacitive reactance would become halved there. And for a capacitive circuit, as we know that the current I is 2 pi Fc into E, that is the relationship between the current and the frequency is given as I is directly proportional to F. So here we can say that, and we can take the ratio of the current I1 upon I2 as F1 upon F2. F1 is nothing but the given frequency, and F2 is the frequency which is double with the original frequency. So we can write it as 2f. So here we can write I1 upon I2 as f upon 2f. F is getting cancelled, and the value of current I2 we are getting as 2I1. That means here we can say that if the frequency is double, then the current will also be doubled there. So here we are getting the capacitive reactance X2 is to be given as when the frequency is double, then the capacitive reactance X2 will be half, and regarding the peak current is to be given as if the frequency is double, then the current is also getting double. So finally we can write our final answer is when the frequency is 50 Hertz, the capacitive reactance in the circuit we are getting as 212 ohm. The RMS current in the circuit we are getting as 1.04 ampere, and the peak current in the circuit we are obtaining as 1.47 ampere. And for the given condition, when the frequency is doubled, the capacitive reactance becomes half and the current becomes double. The next unsolved numerical from the textbook, question number 15 is: an AC circuit consists of only an inductor of inductance 2 Henry. If the current is represented by a sine wave of amplitude 0.25 ampere and frequency 60 Hertz, calculate the effective potential difference across the inductor. Value of pi is given 3.142. Here the value of the inductance is given as 2 Henry and the current, maximum current is given as 0.25 ampere. As it is given, the current is represented by a sine wave of amplitude 0.25 A. So over here this amplitude gives the maximum value of the current. So we can write as value of maximum current 0.25 ampere. And the frequency is given 60 Hertz. We have to calculate the effective potential difference across the inductor there. The circuit consists of only inductor here, and we have to calculate the RMS value of E. Let's see the solution. As inductance is given 2 Henry, so we have to write in the data first of all value of L as 2 Henry, and the maximum current is given 0.25 ampere. So here it is to be represented as I0 is 0.25 ampere and the frequency f is given as 60 hertz. We have to calculate the effective potential difference, that is ERMS. The formula we will use here as IRMS is equal to I0 upon square root 2. Second, we can use XL is equal to 2 pi FL, and finally to obtain the effective potential difference ERMS is given as IRMS into XL. As XL is ERMS upon IRMS, so we can write ERMS as IRMS into XL. Now in the first formula, IRMS is equal to I0 upon square root 2, we have to substitute the value of I0 which is given as 0.25. So IRMS to be written as 0.25 upon square root 2. The value of square root 2 we are having 1.414 and 1 upon square root 2 is given as 0.707. So it is to be multiplied with 0.25 and the multiplication we are getting as 0.1768 ampere. So IRMS we are getting as 0.1768 ampere. Then next in the second formula, XL is equal to 2 pi FL. We have to substitute the value of pi which is given as 3.142. F frequency is given as 60 hertz and value of L is given as 2 Henry. So XL is to be written as 2 into 3.142 into 60 into 2 and the multiplication will be given the result as 754.08 ohm. So here the value of XL we are getting as 754.08 ohm. Then by using the third formula ERMS is equal to IRMS into XL, we have to substitute the values. IRMS as we are getting as 0.1768 and XL we are obtaining as 754.08. So we have to multiply these two values and hence we can determine the value of ERMS. After writing in the multiplication form, let's solve it by using the log. So out of the bracket we have to write down the anti-log and in the bracket we are supposed to write down the log 0.1768 plus log 754.08. Then next, in the next step we have to write anti-log and in the bracket value of the log 0.1768 is to be written as bar 1.2475 plus value of log 754.08 is to be written as 2.8775. We have to solve the bracket and we are getting the value as 2.1250. So here in the next step we have to take the anti-log of 2.1250 and the value we are obtaining as 1.334 into 10 raised to 2 and further it is to be written as 133.4. So here we are getting the final answer for ERMS as 1.334 volt and hence we can write down our final answer as the effective potential difference across the inductor is 133.4 volt, that is 133.4 volt. So here we have discussed the unsolved numericals from the textbook, question number 12, question number 14, and question number 15 with its solution. The remaining numericals We will solve next time in the next lecture. Thank you.